So I am super excited. Wait, I'm too close. I hope you can hear me, but I am just about to go to my first booktubers meetup, and I'm super excited because I'm going to meet up with lovely V from the Sassy Library Fox. I'm sure many of you know the channel, and now we are both based in Austria, so I thought, well, why not to meet up in person, because we both of us actually celebrated 5 years on BookTube. We started approximately at the same time, so we decided to meet up, go to few bookshops, and probably leave with few books and grab a coffee. So I thought I would take you with us. So I'm very exciting, and yes, let's go. That was super nice. I got one book, I'll show you when I get home. And funnily enough, we realized or found out that we actually do not live so far away from each other, which is absolutely crazy, because basically we are two people who met through the booktube on internet whilst I was in Scotland and she was in Austria. Then I moved to Austria and we were like, okay, let's meet up. And then found out that we actually live quite close to each other now. Nice. Hello my friends, and welcome to the second part of the video. I must confess that I struggled a little bit to where to sit myself, because it's not even 7 AM at this point, but to be honest with you, I ran out of time for filming, so I decided to opt next to the window, close to my lovely plants. And also, don't mind this, but we actually got new seating for the balcony, which is super exciting, but yes, we didn't really have time to set everything up, so right now it's in the living room. But anyway, my friends, I wanted to film an outro of this video and also to show you the book which I bought, and because the meeting happened a couple days ago, I already managed to finish the book, so it's gonna be a book haul and book review in one. And the book I bought, my friends, let me tell you, it's definitely one of the favorite books I ever read, and I'm sure it's gonna be in my top 3 of 2026, which is quite difficult because at this point I was so lucky that now I already have top 3 books which I read this year. So I'm very curious how the year's gonna end. The book I bought is this one. And I must confess that when I picked this book up in the bookstore, I did not really read properly the end of the book and what is the book about, but it just somehow spoken to me and I decided to buy it. And boy, did I love this book. Basically, Hetty Crisel is someone who has been doing interviews with authors in her own podcast for quite a long time. And she's been talking to authors who write books, who write plays and screenplays, who are journalists, who are writing fiction, non-fiction, essayists. And she decided to write this book then, which is a conversation with 55 different authors. And let me tell you, the names here are people like Maggie O'Farrell, Elif Shafak, Graham Norton, and people I haven't even heard of yet, but already right now I have another list of authors I want to read, because even just their answers are so interesting or so funny or so good that I do want to read them, and I do want to explore these authors. And then there is a lot of authors which I already read and I'm like, damn, I like you even more. So this was absolutely beautiful. And if you're someone who is interested in writing, who loves to write, who wants to be a published author, or who writes for a hobby, if you want to study it, and not even writing books, for example, but also screenplays, you can find here a lot of inspiration, motivation, advice on writing, like practical advice as well, speaking of agents and basically everything writers go through when it comes to the whole process of writing book, because they share their own processes of how they are doing it. And it's so fascinating even from the psychological point of view, because while one author tells you that they need to be somewhere in a shed, hidden there for 3 days, not even seeing daylight, being in total silence and solitude, and write, I don't know, 5,000 pages in one sitting. 5,000 pages? No, you know what I mean, words. Then right after that, another author tells you that, no, I can write in the kitchen table and I can have kids running around and I do write for 30 minutes and that's fine for me. So basically this gives you even so much encouragement as a writer, because if you think that, oh, maybe I'm doing something wrong, or I struggle with motivation, or I don't know how to come up with new ideas, or maybe I need to change something about my writing process, well, you can try, but this book tells you that there is actually not wrong or right answer, because we all are different. Every writer is different. Everyone has different writing process, something that helps them, something that motivates them, something they have to come up with new ideas. And they also speak quite honestly. Sorry, I have a hair somewhere here. They speak very honestly about the struggles they experience as writers when it comes to rejection, and that is so motivating, honestly, to read about that, to read about author whom books you read and loved, and their paragraph begins with, I wrote 2 books before this one that were never published. So you understand how much hard work goes into this, and how much they even struggled with rejection, then with not having enough motivation or strength to write and edit again, because editing obviously is a huge part of the process. So I could go into a lot of details, because if you've been here for a while, you know I love writing, and honestly this book, I cannot tell you how much I loved writing it, because I wish. It really gave me a kick of motivation and inspiration, and it was so lovely to read. Honestly, from the very beginning I started to read this, I just didn't want it to end, and as you can see, I underlined like every single page. I didn't even use all the stickers there because I didn't even have that many, but basically every single page is underlined, and it's such filled with advice and tips and tricks and their own opinions and struggles and inspiration and motivation. And yes, if you like writing in any form, if you want to do it, if you're just interested, if you love to read other people's work, if you like to read this one, because it's absolutely beautiful. And I'm definitely gonna look up the podcast, because I actually haven't known about that before, and I do want to explore it, because this book was absolutely fabulous, and definitely my top 3 of 2026 so far. So my friends, that's actually all I wanted to say, because I could be here talking about this book for like another whole video, which would be over half an hour, and I'm not gonna do it, and I'm gonna make a cup of coffee instead, because I'm quite tired and I still need to go to work in like 1 hour. So anyway, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was slightly different format than what I'm used to do, because quite a lot of my videos are actually like this, sitting down, but I wanted to try something different, and I wanted to try some sort of vlog style of video. So hopefully you enjoyed this, and I will see you with another one very soon. Bye bye, take care.